So, welcome everybody back to the Phantom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today, Mr. Zod. And today, I have Nick over there, and we're doing some reviews, couple of quick reviews for the new year. The first one I'm a little behind on because everybody else got their review out except for me, but that's okay because I watched it last night. I was just too tired to shoot this. So the first review I have up for you is the Book of Fett, episode 6. And what can I say? This episode is just straight up perfection. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a few things I could probably nitpick here and there. But given the context of where we are in the story and how it's developing, I think that this fixes a lot of the problems. This episode was directed by Dave Filoni himself, and it basically picks up where the previous episode left off, with Mando going to see Grogu, so we get a Grogu cameo. We get an Ahsoka cameo. I believe Ahsoka and Luke are working together, which ties in a lot of things from Rebels, Clone Wars, so many tie-ins. I feel like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are trying to tie in this universe together with everything that came before it, while leaving some breadcrumbs to what the potential future is. If Grogu goes with Mando, which is laid out for him later in this episode, I believe this will fix a lot of questions about why little Baby Yoda, the child, Grogu, whatever you want to call him, was not in the temple during the events of The Last Jedi, which I would be totally fine with them implying he was not around because the F Last Jedi. Anyways, there are some big appearances. So here's the thing. Before this show, Boba Fett was my number one favorite bounty hunter, but number 2 was Cad Bane. And spoiler alert, if you're on the internet, it's already been spoiled, but Cad Bane makes an appearance, and it is everything I ever imagined. The makeup work is fantastic. The voice acting is on point. There was a great showdown, which Cad Bane easily basically gets the upper hand on everybody, wins the showdown fairly, which Cad Bane throughout the series has been known to cheat a lot, but there is certain instances where he's confident if he can win, he goes through with the showdown and beats the opponent. So I loved it all. I thought the effects for Luke were on point. The de-aging got better, I think, because if you think back to the season final of Mando, I love the scene with Luke, but looked very heavy set. I don't know if they used the same Luke, but they definitely used the same face, so kudos to the de-aging department. Looks pretty good. Mando's talking with Boba about getting more people, so they go out and do that. That happens. That was pretty cool. Everything was pretty neat. I'm just giving a general outline because I really don't want to ruin anything, even though I have probably spoiled some of the stuff by telling you who appears. But the spoilers are out there. Overall, what do I think? I think the story, as it goes through, it's fixing the current timeline. It still doesn't fix the problems in the beginning of this show, which is I will always be of the opinion the flashbacks should have been their own self-contained episode, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and then moved on in the current storyline, given what they're setting up. I don't see how they have so much set up that they can finish unless these stories wrap up in Mandalorian Season 3. But it appears to be a way for them to set groundwork for the 3rd Mandalorian season and to finish up this current story. If I had to guess, Uh, Either Boba is going to end here in this current story or be folded into Mandalorian season 3, but I don't think he'll get a season 2 considering the first half of the show hasn't been a big seller for most people. Um, but I think as far as it goes, seeing the direction they're taking it, I'm glad I stuck it out for a friend of mine. So here's your episode review for episode 6. I think it was a pretty neat story. Very well told. It definitely fixed some of the current timeline problems. Um, and it ties in the past and the current Star Wars pretty neatly without stepping over or on each storyline too much. So, very good job to Dave's directing. If I had any minor nitpicks, it was brought up to me about how Luke trained kind of like the old Jedi did dogmatically. I would argue that this is because this was the way he became a Jedi. He actually never formally finished his training, and Yoda died before he could, but Yoda technically said he was a Jedi Master. So I think the choice is the point of the episode. That's just my personal opinion. Um, Other than that, I didn't see too many flaws in this episode. The storytelling was tight, the effects were good, people died. I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. I think it's not a perfect episode. It still comes from choppy storytelling. There isn't much of Boba Fett in his own show. He's only got like a scene or two. So there's still issues with the main story, but this was a solid episode. Great Star Wars fun, good humor that lands, uh, just fantastic special effects, great voice acting. One of my favorite characters returns. I couldn't really complain about much in this episode. In the comments below, let me know what did you think of the Book of Fett, episode 6. Are you on board? Are you excited about the final? Do you not care? And also, I will be doing 2 more videos, one on the Neon Demon and one on the Tender Bar, which are 2 new movies for 2022 on the streaming service Amazon. So check out those reviews. And as always, remember the only rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before Zod.